Yo, what's going on, guys? PokeProdz in the building. And as you can see, today I have a game for you against my man CJ Sparkin. Now, this is no ordinary trainer. CJ is very good at the game. And as you can see by his team, he has a very solid team. He's got that Lando, that Pharaoh, like all these things. All these threats and all these just utilities. And looking at my team, I also have some utility. So let's get right into the battle. Alright. So this battle actually happened on my live stream. If you want to check it out, I should be live streaming a lot more. Anyway, I lead off with Genesect as per usual, and he leads off with T-Tire. And now, I was kind of questioning this because I'm like, I'm a Genesect. I can just come in and wreak havoc with a U-turn right off the bat. So that's actually what I do. Genesect goes ahead and goes for the U-turn, and then that does some mad damage to Tyranitar. However, I don't think he's too afraid to lose his T-Tire, especially since he has that weakness policy. So, I go ahead and send him Whimsicott right now, because I'm like, what can this thing do to Whimsicott? Nothing unless it has Fire Blast, which I'm pretty sure it does not have Fire Blast. So he actually goes and sets up the Rock Polish. I'm like, alright, this is perfect. Whimsicott's free to wreak havoc on this man. So now, I gain a little help from lefties and go ahead and go for the Encore because this is a T-Tire and it tried for Rock Polish, so it's going for Rock Polish another 2 times now. Another 3 times actually, if it decides to stay in. So, this right now, it's playing a little stally, but that is a Whimsicott after all. So, I really have to stall it out. So he switches out of the T-Tire knowing that he has to go for another Rock Polish. And I actually go for the Moonblast, I believe, here because I wasn't predicting the switch. I was like, it may stay in and just Death Fodder it off. So I was like, alright, I'll just go for that. So now since it's been sent to the Ferrothorn, I'm like, well, stall game begins. So I go ahead and just go for the taunt in case he tried to set up some rocks. This man thought he was setting up some rocks on me. Not happening today. So, CJ isn't your normal caliber player. Like, CJ is above a lot of the people I usually battle. So this is a very good battle. Like, I really enjoy playing against CJ. So I send in Genesect. I'm like, Genesect, you need to come through. And he actually hits me now with the Power Whip. And it really doesn't do anything to my Genesect. So this is when I go ahead and he switches out into the T-Tire, and I believe I predict this to go for the U-turn again. If I'm correct here, yeah, I go for the U-turn. So that's that T-Tire down, and now. Now I switch into my Rotom off the U-turn. And he goes back into Ferrothorn. So I actually go for the Wisp because I love burning Ferrothorn. It just makes it so much easier to kill. Pretty much negates the leftovers health. But now we still have that Sandstream thanks to that T-Tire, so that's the thing. But I go ahead and just Volt Switch out because there's not too much I can do to Ferrothorn other than burn it and get out. So I just Volt Switch out of there. Now this game I had to really think about what I was doing because I didn't want this man to gain advantage on me over my own stupid mistakes. So I go into my Goodra. What's even Goodra though? So there's my Goodra. And he hits me with the Power Whip and it does not very much because I am a Goodra. And Goodra just likes to eating it up, everything. So now Goodra is just going to proceed to sit in here and put some damage on the board. So CJ switches out of Ferrothorn and into Jellicent. Now I actually go for the T-Bolt predicting this, and I was like, yeah, if he switches to Jellicent, it's gonna get hurt bad by this thing. So it actually, Jellicent kind of ate that attack up really. But it's at about half health now thanks to that Sandstorm hit. But since the game's lefties, it's still at about 55% health. So I go ahead and go for the Dragon Pulse now, just for that stab. And it doesn't do that much at all, really. Jellicent's kind of eating it up. And we're sitting in here with like 2 stalling tanks. But Gudra's just about to say, I've had enough. So now, this Jellicent wants to crush the soul. But Gudra won't let it. Gudra's like, you know what? We're gonna crush this man's soul. As he sends in his Landorus, and I believe I actually went for the T-Bolt this time, and he predicted it, so I was like, okay, get on your part, TJ, very good. So, yeah, you kind of destroyed my move there. And now he goes for the Rock Polish, and I was like, I don't think there's too much I can do against this thing. I go for the Focus Blast, not realizing how little it would do to this thing. So, it really did not do anything. That was barely a chunk at all. So, now realizing that I was like, okay, this is not good. I need to get Gudra out of here. But I actually decided to stay in, and he hits me with the Earthquake, and then that's the end of Gudra. So I was like, alright. Well, I guess I just buttered off my Gudra. Gudra put in some work though. I can't say it didn't. So now I go into Whimsicott. You already know Whimsicott's my favorite, and Whimsicott likes making people angry. So I go ahead and go for the Encore on the Earthquake, because this man's not really going to do anything to me with an Earthquake to a Whimsicott. So as you can see, he does about 30 damage, which is nothing to a Whimsicott. I could take it clean nice and 3 more of those, so I wasn't too worried about it. But now we gain the leftovers, and I go ahead and set up my seeds on this man. Now, looking at his team earlier, I didn't see anything that could spin. I seen the Mandibuzz, which had Defog, but I wasn't too worried about it. Because if he does want to switch into it, I could easily go for the Moonblast from my Whimsicott, or I have things to deal with that. I do have an Entei on my team if you haven't seen that. That's a threat. Mega Lucario, threat. Rotom, oh man, just great. Gudra, threat. For Whimsicott, he's just the man. So, and this man proceeds to go for Earthquakes. And I just go for the Moonblast because I just want to pick some damage off. At this point, I'm pretty sure Whimsicott's gonna die. Like, I knew Whimsicott wasn't gonna put in that much work as opposed to damage, but he's not really here for the damage. So if he puts some in, then power to him. But I go ahead and get some stall Leech Seed. So that's more than less what I'm doing right now, is just trying to stall out that Landorus. Because in case you didn't know, Landorus is a threat, most definitely. And now I go for the Encore again, because there's not much he can do to me with an Earthquake. So yeah, like I said, I'm just stalling out with this Whimsicott. But yeah, that Landorus is seeing a lot of play, most definitely, because it's a great Pokemon. And it most definitely puts in work. So this is not a correct representation of how good Landorus actually is, just because his Whimsicott is just putting in the work and trying to keep him away from me. So yeah, what's going on right now is I send in Rotom. I believe I just go for the Hydro Pump to take this thing out. Yeah, he goes for the Earthquake because I predicted him to do that, so I switched into my Rotom. He was encored into it, so I was like, of course he's going for the Earthquake. Might as well switch into Rotom and get a clean switch in. So I'm going to gain that Leech Seed health, and then Rotom is going to proceed to crush this man's soul. I thought, no. I actually believe that I go for the Will-O-Wisp here, and he predicts that and he switches into Paralyze. So good on your part, TJ. Most definitely, that was a good prediction. Although Lando does need to get burned sometimes. And I get hacked out of my Hydro Pump, as usual. But I can't really talk about that, because you'll see later in the match, I'm getting hacked and it's all on my side. Like, it's good. It's good. And, like, it's really good. So anyway, I get to crit with the Volt Switch and get up out and go back into Whimsicott because the man wants to Leech Seed. And so now I have my Whimsicott on board. And he goes for the Power Whip, and I'm like, alright, I'm probably dead, but I'm actually not. I heated up completely. And Whimsicott is the thing people need to realize. So that Parathorn is burnt, and it's gonna die next turn no matter what. So I go ahead and hit him with the Moonblast, attempting to take him out. And it does. So that's the end of Parathorn. But what you have to remember is this man still has a Jellicent, not to mention a Mandibuzz. So now he sends in Luminous. And Luminous is this Lucario. This Lucario is scary. Mega Lucario is scary, period. Just the extensive moveset this thing can have. It's like, hello? Alright, Bullet Punch is most definitely gonna crush my soul. So it's that fairy. So I go back into Rotom and I'm like, I need to get this thing burned. So I go ahead and go for the Will-O-Wisp, but he actually withdraws. Or no, I believe I either went for the Hydro Pump here or the Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, I did go for the Wisp. So it hits the Mandibuzz, which I'm completely fine with that. It makes Mandibuzz less stall. So I was like, okay, he can't stall me out as much this time. So I go ahead and just hit him with the Hydro Pump, predicting a switch out to Lucario again. But then he goes for the Foul Play. Now, I'm glad he didn't switch into the Jellicent to get my Hydro Pump like as health, because that would suck. But now he just hits with the Foul Play. It doesn't really do too much because I'm a Rotom. But I go for the Volt Switch now. And this does a fair amount considering that's a Mandibuzz. And now that Mandibuzz is going to die from the burn at the end of the turn. So that's nice. Now I send in Entei. This thing is a complete threat. Complete threat. With this moveset, he has perfect coverage. Just about everything. Now this man hits me with a Foul Play, and Entei does not like that at all. But look at Entei looking so magnificent. Looking strong. Looking powerful. And this man actually survives the burn. I thought he was going to die, but I go ahead and straight up go for the Stone Edge, because even if this man wanted to switch out, it would hit whatever he brought in pretty well. So now he actually brings in a Jellicent, and I'm like, damn, I just got to try to hit this man, and I miss. And he goes for the recover. I'm like, of course I get hacked out of my Stone Edge and let this man recover. And now he's going to get his leftovers, and he's going to be just about at full health. So I'm like, damn, but it's okay. I go for a Stone Edge, and it does so much damage. So much damage to that Jellicent. And he hit me with the Skull now, and I'm like, alright, so there goes Entei. But Entei did put in work still. I mean, not as much as my other folks, but Entei is a thing. Entei is a thing. So now I'm like, I'm gonna send in my Rotom. I'm gonna try to kill this thing with a Volt Switch or something. But I'd send in my Rotom because it's obviously the best thing I can do right now. And he switches out into Lando. And he gets the Intimidate off, but it's okay because I have a special attacker. So he gets the Intimidate off, and I go for the Volt Switch. He predicts me well there. I was playing two predictions with those Volt Switches. But he hits it into Stone Edge, and I believe this takes Rotom down a lot. So I hit him with the Hydro Pump, and this is going to completely crush Landers. And there he is. Gone. It's like it's all over. It's a wrap. But no. He sends out Luminous. And he's a Lucario. He goes for the CC right off the bat, outspeed, and Rotom gets a Soul Crush. Alright. I see you, CJ. I see you. So, now what's going on? I send in my Genesect now. I'm like, I can outspeed this thing. I'm a Choice Scarf Genesect. I can straight up go for the Flamethrower and this thing's done. So, that's what I do. I go for the Flamethrower. But he knows that. He knows I outspeed and goes into his Jellicent. Well, this is where it gets real good, real hacksy in my turn. I hit the Jellicent with the Flamethrower and it gets the burn! I was like, yes! I was like, yes! Genesect, you got it! So anyway, as you can see, this Jellicent burnt, and it's a sitting duck. It's gonna die to one hit. So I go ahead and go for the Flamethrower. I was like, even if he switches out, but it doesn't matter. If he switches out, then he's done. So, there's the Jellicent. And now he switches into Lucario. And at this point, I'm like, good game. Good game, CJ, good game. So, Genesect proceeds to finish off and clean it up with a Flamethrower. So yeah, good game to my man CJ. I really appreciate him rendering this video since it wasn't his capture card. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. PokeProdz out. Bye!